Pirate Nation on X. TeamSpeak is currently riding a massive wave. The official announcement confirms an incredible surge of new users, mostly fleeing Discord's age verification drama. It has maxed out hosting capacity in several regions, especially the US. Now, this is on top of the story we covered the other day with Discord trying to institute the verification ID scans and, oh, we just need to see some documents to make sure you are a certain age to be certain thing. It's like, no, we're not going down this road with any of this. This is not acceptable. And then on top of that, when it got found out that Peter Thiel, the CEO and founder of Palantir, was one of the backers of the company that they were working with, it was all sorts of sketch. And in that video, I was like, there needs to be some alternatives to jump to with Discord going public and them entering into initiatification for the company moving forward. Discord had its time in the sun, and now it's just falling back down to earth. When the world needed it most, it reappeared. TeamSpeak. Set Boys TeamSpeak is probably next. People always jumping the bin gun. Remember Blue Sky? I don't think that's what's happening here. TeamSpeak making a comeback because Discord decided to become the government is peak internet irony. The problem with these apps, by the way, too, is it requires everyone who is going to be using it to all have it. So once you dig your nails into this kind of environment, it's really hard for competition to find a way. But I will say that Discord did open the door for TeamSpeak. Hedgie on X says, TeamSpeak says its servers are overwhelmed by users fleeing Discord after the company announced it's rolling out age verification worldwide in March. TeamSpeak posted that hosting capacity has been reached in many regions, especially the US, due to the incredible surge of new users. The backlash follows Discord's expansion of UK Online Safety Act compliance measures globally. Just months ago, a breach exposed the private age verification documents of 70,000 users. Documents Discord had said wouldn't be stored anywhere. And as we covered last week, Discord recently distanced itself from age verification firm Persona after its ties to Peter Thiel's surveillance company Palantir came to light. My take, this is what happens when you ask users to hand over passports and government IDs right after proving you can't protect the data. Discord told users their documents wouldn't be stored, then 70,000 of them leaked. Now they're expanding the same system worldwide and expecting people to trust them again. Not only that, but they're once again saying that documents are not stored on whatever they're using in this next platform. And then literally within 24 hours, people research it and like, oh, it actually is stored for 7 days, supposedly. And then you trust them to get rid of it after that point? And they're not selling the data to anyone? Come on. TeamSpeak is positioning itself as the alternative, a decentralized, privacy-first platform where you can host your own servers. Whether they can scale fast enough to absorb the exodus is an open question, and success brings its own pressures. But the core dynamic here is simple. People will tolerate a lot from platforms they depend on, but demanding government ID after a breach is where many draw the line. Discord seems surprised by the backlash, which suggests they weren't really listening to their users in the first place. Hedgie. 100%, by the way. When it comes to Discord being surprised by it, that is just sheer audacity. It's like, no, they think this is a vocal minority of people making a big stink about it. I knew when this first started happening, I'm like, if they move forward with this, it is going to be a massive issue, which ironically is exactly why a lot of these companies try to be in bed with the governments, because if they can do that, then they can enact it as a law. Then you can't blame the company, and then everyone has to do it. It's very strange how all of this seems to come to pass. This is on Reddit. TeamSpeak confirms incredible surge of new users as Discord users look for alternatives. Notebook check. TeamSpeak confirmed that the spike in activity has been so strong that hosting capacity in several regions, especially in the US, reached its limit. Recently, Discord announced a major change to the platform starting in March, all the stuff that I already talked about. On X, TeamSpeak confirmed that it has been seeing an incredible surge of new users joining the platform and subscribing to new communities. According to the company, the spike in activity has been so strong that hosting capacity in several regions, especially in the United States, has reached its limit. To handle the sudden increase in demand, TeamSpeak announced the opening of 2 new regions for community creation, Frankfurt 3 and Toronto 1. The company also said it will continue monitoring usage across regions and expand capacity further if needed. What's interesting is that Discord originally rose to popularity by offering an all-in-one voice and text chat platform, largely replacing older services like Skype and even TeamSpeak for many gaming communities. It's combined voice channels, text chat, file sharing, and server-based communities into one easy-to-use platform. For years, it has been the default communication app for most gamers and online communities. However, most Discord users are uncomfortable with the idea of uploading government IDs or completing facial scans, which, by the way, when the backlash hit Discord with this and they came forward to talk about it again, they didn't come forward to say they're going to back off. They came forward to double down and reiterate and clarify what they said, basically saying, maybe you didn't understand what we told you we're doing. And everyone's like, no, we 100% understood that. You're not listening to what we're saying. If you do this, we're leaving. It's like the audacity of Discord to double down after that it tells me that there's something more going on in the background with why they want this information. It's almost like that's proof of it, especially after a data breach was reported in October last year, which compromised the government IDs of around 70,000 Discord users. TeamSpeak, this is their X. With the incredible surge of new users joining TeamSpeak and subscribing communities, current hosting capacity has been reached in many regions, especially US. We're working on expanding the availability across regions. This is their actual post for it. Thank you for your patience as we scale to meet the growing demand. This is, of all the organizations, companies, and platforms, TeamSpeak. It's like, welcome back, old friend. We meet again. PC Gamer. TeamSpeak claims an incredible surge of new users has maxed out its hosting capacity in multiple regions, as many would-be voice chatters seek a Discord alternative. I'm not going to read through all this because it's most of the same information, but I do find it classic that what's happening with Discord right now is 100% their fault and could and should have been avoided. And it goes back to telling me that they knew something more that they're not telling us on why they want this government issue ID stuff to go through. It's not to protect the kids. I mean, we've been saying that from day one. It's never to protect the kids. It never has been. But it's ironic that they try to push that. And then when people push back saying, okay, if it's to protect the kids and all that, whatever you're doing, we're just going to go somewhere else. We'll leave, go to a different platform. So much so that TeamSpeak's own social media is just like, whoa, whoa, buddy, there's a lot of people coming to us right now. We're going to try our best to handle this. But what a great problem to have as a company to be like, all these people joining us right now because of Discord and them leaving. I think what's happening with the Discord situation is something more financial based when it comes to going public and needing the IDs. And just bear with me for a second here, but think like an investor. Like, I'm not talking like a individual investor. I'm talking like a big time BlackRock Vanguard investor. Like, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollar type investors going into this, being like, hey, give us your numbers, Discord. Who are the people working? Who do you have there? And this, that, the other thing. And like, oh, we have XYZ amount of users. Like, that's great. How many of them are actually real people? Oh, we're supposed to just trust you? No. We're going to need AI to verify that these people are human. The ones that are questionable, we're going to need their IDs on to verify that every single person that you say is an active user on your platform is actually a person and not a bot. And then, and only then, are we going to invest and put all this money into you. I personally think that's the real reason why they're doubling and tripling down on the age verification ID thing in the name of, oh, it's for your safety. The fuck it is. No, it's not. Everyone sees right through that. The reality is it's always we want more information. We want more details. And that's like the best case scenario. I'm not even talking about the nefarious, oh, what if they actually want this information to do one further on selling the information to third-party companies that might be able to use that data to sell you things or find out information about you. And you know, a couple decades ago, you'd probably say that's crazy. That doesn't happen. I think most people are wise to actually that's what happens across the board on the internet these days. So my bigger concern with all of it is how deep does this rabbit hole go, and how scary is it going to be once people actually find out what it is. Netflix Forward says Smash pretty sure the Discord CEO's previous business had government connections, and Discord is getting money on the back end by Tencent even before this IPO. Man, Tencent is in everything if that's the case. Holy crap, that's crazy. That's crazy. All these tech companies and apps have shelf lives, is what I'm noticing. People ebb and flow into and out of the latest app. That is the craze every 4 to 5 years. I think all these apps have expiry dates. I think that's a good point. Remember when Skype was like the craze? Everyone had Skype, and then Microsoft bought Skype, thinking that that was where all the money was and everything was happening, and then Skype just died. And then Microsoft's like, we'll do Teams, and we're doing our own thing. And Teams is kind of taking over Zoom now because Teams is being integrated with all the Microsoft technology. So it is curious how it does warp every few years with this kind of stuff. And I said this before last time I covered the Discord situation. I would not touch this company with a 10-foot pole when it comes to investing. Not financial advice, but my goodness, this is one of those very, very sketch type investments that maybe will bring a lot of money down the road, but I would not feel very confident in it, especially with the public sentiment, we'll just say, surrounding it. Even before the verification stuff happened, even before all that, I was very sketch on Discord. Now after this, I'm just like, okay, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. We'll see what happens with it and with TeamSpeak, but I do find it pretty funny and ironic that TeamSpeak is being brought back into the fold right now after Discord just shot itself in the foot multiple times. See what happens, but for now, I'll leave that there.